It's been weeks since the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development fell victim to a ransomware attack. Since then, however, little is known about who was behind the cyber hack. In its latest update on the crisis, the department yesterday denied that it's received a ransom demand of 33 million rand or 50 Bitcoin, but it did confirm that some personal information might have been stolen. The department says it's now prioritizing the services that directly affect the public. These include child maintenance payments and court proceedings. Well, for an update on the investigation, we're joined now by Henton Katz. He's the Justice Department's acting head of IT. Mr. Katz, thank you so much for joining us. It's a worrying situation. The department has denied reports that its backups have been lost and that it received a ransom demand of 50 Bitcoin. So what do we know about who these hackers are?
Good morning, ma'am. At this stage, we are not at a point where we have established the identity of the hackers. We are investigating the threat path and the infection path at the moment has led us to some IP addresses, and there is an ongoing investigation as to trying to understand who the threat actor is. At this point, we are working with some of the state agencies to actually identify who the threat actor is, and I cannot really disclose a lot about that as the investigation is underway at the moment.
Okay, according to My Broadband, an article in there said the department may have been infiltrated as early as April. Did the department perhaps drop the ball by not listening to warnings that were coming its way?
Well, our investigation so far has identified that the first activities in this regard actually only started on the evening of the 5th. And I cannot comment on the information that was published by My Broadband. I have no idea where they get that from, but our investigation identified only activities as from the 5th, the evening of the 5th. Where we started to take active action actually to block and contain the activities that we found.
What has the department established about the personal information that may have been accessed by the hackers?
So as part of that final report we received on the last weekend, we could identify that there are some machines. Remember what we're doing from the beginning of the outbreak was to actually do scans on all our infrastructure. And as part of that investigation, the report we received over the weekend, it identified that there were some activities that points to data having been exfiltrated. At this point, what we have identified is the scripts that were ran, which basically looked or searched through files for certain keywords. And on the basis of that, we would rather err on the side of caution to say that the indication is that there had been data exfiltrated. These are the keywords that were searched for. We now need to establish whether those keywords were actually found and whether it relates to personal information. And if it does, who those data subjects are so that we can actually take the next steps. So that investigation is ongoing at the moment as well.
Sounds like a really complex process. Thousands of parents were impacted by the child maintenance backlog. What's the latest on that?
So I can confirm at this point, let me just clarify as well. So the maintenance payments is an ongoing process that happens basically every day. But we have two major payment runs, one at the end of the month and one in the middle of the month. So before the outbreak of the attack, there was a month-end payment run that actually dealt with the beneficiaries that was to be paid on the end of August. That was done. And since the advent of the attack, as from the 6th, we have been bringing up the system specifically to deal with the payment run that was to take place on the 15th. And we have successfully paid 30,000 beneficiaries so far. We have cleared the backlog between the 6th up until the 15th, and there are still 2 or 3 payments that there's payment schedules that contain about 900 or beneficiaries that still need to be paid.
All right.
But the number, like I'm saying, we're paying on a daily basis anyway. So this is ongoing.
Okay. Mr. Katz, thank you so much for your time. We need to move on, but we do appreciate you coming on. Mr. Katz, Henton Katz, the Justice Department's acting head of IT.